Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hopefully you will stick around. Today I am going to be doing the Do I Have That Book tag. Why? Because it's a tag that I watched a lot when it was first being done, and I've always liked it and I've always wanted to do it. And on top of that, like, I don't know if any of you guys know, but Jack Edwards has been recently very into tags and he's been doing a lot of videos on them, and I want to help contribute to making tags a thing because they're so much fun and they were a big part of BookTube back in the day of 2014, 15, 16, those kind of years, and I want to do it myself. So let's just get right into it. So if you do not know, the Do I Have That Book tag is basically a bunch of prompts and you have to see if you have a book according to each prompt. So I do want to point out that I'm only going to be using books that are in my room. That includes these shelves, that includes these shelves, and that includes the shelves you are currently standing on. So yeah, which is the majority of my books. It's just I do have quite a few that are outside this room. So the first prompt is, do I have a book with deckled edges? And the one, I think I have a few more. I might have more, but this one's the one that I picked, and it is Circe by Madeline Miller. I have not read this yet, but I will hopefully soon. There's the deckled edges. This is a stunning book, by the way. Like, look at those end pages. I haven't read it yet, but what I do know about it, it's supposed to be an origin story, a retelling of Circe, who was known to be the first. I don't know very much about other than that. I have to get to it at some point, so yes. The next prompt is, do I have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? And I don't know. I feel like I want an easy route with this one. Anyway, I just grabbed the first manga that I could think of, and that is Attack on Titan, particularly is volume 14. So there we have our 3 people. We've got Levi, we've got Hanji, and we've got Erwin. Anyway, if you did not know, this is a manga series. There's also a anime. This is a dark fantasy kind of. We are set in a land where people have been living between these 3 walls, and that is because outside of the walls there are these monsters called Titans. We follow certain characters in this world who, after a tragedy happens where a wall gets broken into by a huge titan, their world gets turned upside down, and it's in their fight of trying to rid the world of these titans, and you also figure out what the titans are. If you're looking to get into manga and anime, this is the one that got me into it, so I definitely recommend for that. The next prompt is, do I have a book based on another fictional story? And I do. I have quite a few. I do think so. Basically retellings is kind of like where my mind went, and I have tons of those, and the first one I'm gonna grab is the one that's right here. This is Heartless. This is based off, or does this count? I don't know if this counts actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It's not exactly a retelling, it's just an origin story. I don't know if this counts or not. We're just gonna go with this one. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. It is a YA retelling of Queen of Hearts from the Alice in Wonderland world. The Queen of Hearts before she became the Queen of Hearts, how she just wanted to be a girl who baked and opened a bakery with the love of her life, and we see how she turns into the Queen of Hearts that we all know. Yes, it's based on another fictional story, but it's a retelling of an origin, which I'm not sure if that counts, but I'm gonna count it because I don't think anyone's gonna tell me that it's very wrong. So yes. The next one is gonna be hard. Do I have a book with the title 10 letters long? I don't know. Let's see. It took me a while. Okay, so for this prompt, I picked Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, who is the author of the Grishaverse. This is her adult debut, I'm pretty sure. I have not read this yet, but what I do know about it, it's dark academia. We follow Alex, I'm pretty sure her name is. Yeah, Alex, as she gets invited to go to Yale to follow up, to kind of watch these secret societies that are using magic because she can see ghosts or something like that. I don't really want to know too much about it before I go into it. I've heard great things about this and I'm excited to read it at some point. The next is, do I have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? Okay. Yes, I do. That was quick. We've got Sky Without Stars. This is by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. I have not read this yet either. You're gonna see that I haven't read a lot of the books that I own. This is a YA retelling of Les Miserables, so it's Les Mis set in space, I think. I remember a long time ago, Olivia Reads Alade, her YouTube channel, she was reading it and she really liked it. I'm pretty sure it was this one. It might have been a different one. I think she read these and really liked them. I should read them at some point, but yeah. Starts with an S, ends with an S. Perfect. The next prompt is, do I have a mass market paperback? So the first one that I thought of, I do have a few. I think I've got like 4. I do own this one, which is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. This had its moment back in the day. I was very much a fan of it at some point. It's a very battered copy of this poor book. Has been through it. It has been soaked. It's been wet. It's a little bit wet. But you know, it's been loved. It's been cared for. I've had it for a really long time. Like, we're talking 10 years here. So anyway, this is Jojo Moyes' Me Before You. If you did not know, this one we follow Will Turner, who is in a wheelchair, and his family decides to get him a caretaker, but in the sense that is supposed to be cheering him up a little bit with life, and that's where Louisa Clark comes in. Yeah, it's a love story, but it's heartbreaking. With that book, I liked it when I read it, but I feel like if I reread it, I would probably see more problems with it. I'll have to reread it. Okay, so the next prompt is, do you have a book written by someone using a pen name? I feel like I do. I definitely do, because I know Cassandra Clare is a pen name author. Her real name isn't that, but I want to see if I can find anyone else. Because I feel like that's too obvious. Does Anonymous count? Yeah, I can't think of anyone else. I'm not 100% sure on pen names of anyone. I feel like I could take R.F. Kuang as a pen name, but I don't feel like that's what it is. It's just like not saying that her name is Rebecca. I don't really know. So I'm just gonna go with Cassandra Clare. I grabbed the first one that I literally grabbed the easiest one I could get to, and that is her newest release, Cassandra Clare's Swordcatcher, which is her adult debut as well. Yes, Cassandra Clare is a pen name. I learned the fact that it was a pen name from watching these videos, so that's funny. So I don't know much about it. I haven't read this yet, but I know we follow someone who stands in for the prince. He was taken away from his poor life to stand in for the prince and like be the sword catcher for him. And we follow a girl who is like a medic. She's from a different race. I don't know. I've heard very good things about it though. So I'm excited to get to it at some point. The next prompt is, do I have a book with a character's name in the title? Yes, a few. And I can see just a few by looking at here. I kind of grabbed two. Which one should I use? I feel like this one. So the one I'm using for this prompt is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I really like this book. It is one of the first books that I ever annotated, and I am happy that I annotated it. I'm not a big annotator. I'm not sure if that's a word. Anyway, we follow this young girl whose name is Jane Eyre throughout her life. She has been through countless of hard goings where she is put in a school that is very awful. We follow her throughout her whole life, and as she becomes a governess for this rich man, and it's in a gothic kind of setting. It's very good. It is a classic for a reason, and I think it is one of the best classics out there. It is very accessible, it's very easy, and it's also just a lot of fun. I love the atmosphere it creates. It's like this dark, gloomy place, and we see Jane, who is very much under the struggles of bias of gender and of class, and her fight that basically, and she kind of ends up on top, kind of not. There's a little bit of romance, a little bit, and yeah, it's a good classic. If you're looking for classics, this is a good one. The next prompt is, do I have a book with 2 maps in it? Honestly, like, I know this has 2 maps in it, so we're just gonna go with this one. So the one that I'm picking for this prompt is A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. This is the 4th book. This is the 4th book in the Song of Ice and Fire books series. I have read all of these. I love them. I'm anxiously awaiting for another book to come out. Someday. I wasn't sure to count this, but like we've got these, we've got these, and this is a map of like a city, King's Landing. You get my point. There's like a few maps in here, and yeah, that's the one I'm going to count for this. I'm just now realizing that my Game of Thrones books are completely out of order. That's good. Do I have a book that was turned into a TV show? Is the next prompt, and I just used it. Let's try to move it around from here. I found one, Normal People. I haven't watched it yet though. I feel like I should do one that I've actually watched. Anyway, change of plans. Because I haven't actually watched that one, I feel like it's a little bit unfair to use that. But I know it has a TV show. But the one I ended up picking is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. There's a TV show. It's great. It's awesome. It sticks completely to the book. It is so well done. I love it. Everyone in it is so good. If you like it, the movie's also good, but like the TV show, perfection. I loved it so much. It is such a good adaptation of the book. We're set into this kind of steampunk world, similar to Earth, but the people in this Earth have demons that are basically parts of their soul that are living on the outside of your body, that are transformed into animals. And we follow Lyra, who has been living in Oxford for the longest time. Her best friend goes missing because there are some gobblers. She goes on this huge epic journey to search for him in the north. It's got great. It's got polar bears that fight. It's got witches. It's got lots of things in it. I mean, it is very well done. I really enjoy it. Definitely recommend if anyone hasn't read it yet. So yes. The next prompt is, do I have a book with a clock on the cover? I feel like these must have clocks in them, right? So I went with a very typical route just because I couldn't think of anyone that would definitely have a clock on the cover, and I went with Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. It's not in the Shadow Hunters realm. There's the clock right there. It's Big Ben. That counts, right? I feel like that counts. That's gotta count. This one specifically is a period. It's in the 1980s. Right? Yes, it's fun. Do I have a poetry book? Yes, I do. I have one. The Complete Poems of Emily Dickinson. I talked about this recently. This is the collection of poems from Emily Dickinson, who was a poet. She has a lot of depressing poems, I guess. She does have a lot of sad poems, but she also has a lot of nature poems that are my personal favorite. I feel like she's one of those staples in the poetry, classic literature world. So yes, the next one is, do I have a book with an award stamp on it? Do I have a book with an award stamp? Took me a while, but I found one. I'm not sure if this counts, but it says here, winner, the Whitbread Award winner, right there. And this is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I haven't read this yet, but I haven't read it completely. I did start it ages ago, and I never finished it. But not because it wasn't good. I can't remember why I put it down, because it was very good from what I remember. We are following this autistic boy as we try to resolve this like case of a dead dog, I think we get. It's a very well done perspective. I was very interested in how specifically they think, how logical it all was, how it does make sense in some capacity. We just don't think the same way. It was just very good is what I'm trying to say, and I really hope to get to it and actually finish it soon at some point. This is basically just me showing off the fact that I haven't read a lot of my books. This one's gonna be very bad. Do you have a book written by an author with the same initials as you? Honestly, I don't think so. I know my books pretty well, and I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Like, I'll give myself a 1-minute timer, but I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, I couldn't find one. The closest that I got to was Federico Garcia Lorca. We're gonna use the initials F and L for my name. So we're just gonna go with it. This is the closest I could get to. This is A Poet in New York and Other Poems by Federico Garcia Lorca, who is a Spanish poet or author. I think he also did plays. Anyway, he was kind of like a very anti-fascist author during an impressive time during Spain. I went to where his birthplace or where he grew up, and that's where I picked this book up years ago, and I've never read it. And I haven't read it, but it's very cool. It's got like the Spanish on one side and the English on the other side, so it's gonna be a fun read at some point. Oh, this counts for poetry as well. This counts for poetry. I lied to you before, sorry. Do you have a book of short stories? I do. This is a newer acquisition in my library. So this is Ernest Hemingway's Snows for Kilimanjaro and Other Stories. There are so many short stories. I read this a month ago. Yeah, it was last month, I'm pretty sure. And I really enjoyed it. I gave it overall 3 stars. There are some stories that were very good, some stories that weren't so good. I have a full review of it in my reset, and I'm pretty sure in my 24-hour reading vlog, which is when I read it last month. So if you want to know more about it, you can just head over there of my thoughts on it. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Yes, this is really good. I didn't think I had one. Do I have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I do. I just don't 100% know. I kind of just grabbed one to like be able to tell reference between, okay, so it's got to be bigger than this or smaller than this. I grabbed Cursed, Gilded by Marissa Meyer, which is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, I'm pretty sure. I kind of just grabbed it and just went to the last page to see how many pages it has, and it has exactly 500. Like, I'm not kidding. I don't know if you can see that. Literally, it's got 500 pages. That was very lucky. I'm so shocked that I got that in the first go. Oh my god. Do I have a book that was turned into a movie? Yes, I have several. Northern Lights counts, obviously. Any Jane Austen books count, right? Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights. all those were turned into movies. I grabbed Northanger Abbey, which is by Jane Austen. This is the first Jane Austen book that I read. The movie has got Felicity Jones in it and an actor that I can't remember whose name is. Oh, but it's got what's her name? The one who was also in another Jane Austen movie. What's her name? It's got... Why is Carrie coming to my mind? Carrie Brett? No. Morgan? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The movie's really good. I really enjoyed the movie. Anyway, the book. We follow this young girl called Catherine, and she is a big fan of the Gothic tales that are kind of the time. She's very into them, and she kind of has these scenarios in her head that she wants to be in one so much. She goes to the city for the first time. She's making new friends. She's probably not making the best of friends. It's Jane Austen's homage to the Gothic genre, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the next one is, do I have a graphic novel? I mean, I've got Attack on Titan. I'm pretty sure that counts. But if not, we're just going to talk about this one, because it's the one I grabbed. But I've also got Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. This is the complete version, so it's got 2 in 1. Marjane. This is the author's memoir of her life during the Islamic Revolution in Tehran. I think she moves to France at one point. I might be making that up though completely, so we're just, I don't know. I don't remember. I read this years and years and years back. I have to definitely reread it, but I remember thinking it was very good. Do I have a book written by 2 or more authors? Yes, I know I do. I showed Sky Without Stars. That's written by 2 authors. We've got The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Pate. There's 2 authors there, right? Cass Morgan also wrote The 100, but she wrote them on her own, so just pointing that out. That's why I got to know these books. This is a duology, actually. The other one's there. It's called Monarchs. It's right there. Anyway, it's a sorority of witches, basically. Yes, we follow, there's 2 perspectives. One is a girl who doesn't know she's a witch. She shows up at this university and turns out she's a witch. She's all new to that kind of stuff. And the other perspective is of a girl who knows she's a witch and who's been like president of the club or the sorority or the coven. I can't remember. It's a fun YA kind of story. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either if you're looking for a little dose of witches and sorority sisters. Like, it's a fun premise. It's a fun premise, I just don't think it was done the best. Like, I wasn't that in love with any of the characters. And that is it for the book tab. Finally, we are done. I didn't think it was going to be so long, but yeah, we're done. Let me know if you've ever done this tag. Answer your own version of the tag down below if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking through with me and me bumbling over my words a lot. See you in my next one. Bye!